one name you're expecting to do well. Go. Miramar.
TSM is going to get a win here in Miramar today. I hope so, and I really would like to see that.
All right, I'm excited for it as well. It's our final day for week 2. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in around the world as we get onto Miramar here. It's going to be game number 21 as the plane descends onto the desert. It's time to head over to Pansy and a mystery guest. Woo!
Thank you, James, and I'm super excited to bring you the mystery guest, who we'll bring in just a second. But yes, it is match 21 here. We're starting to fly through this. Froz, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I've been busy here today this morning.
I have to say, we're really getting our money's worth for you, aren't we?
I get to run around a lot, but we got a good plane here coming in from northwest, going down to the southeast. Northeast to southwest.
It's, you know, it's hard.
It's hard sometimes.
Okay, let's kind of keep our eyes on the action then. Early drop-wise, what are we looking at here? Is there anything we should be expecting different? Because we've got the teams kind of settling in now. A lot of those early little kind of back and forth seem to have been resolved.
I mean, the biggest change here that we see is Winstrike dropping in Campo Militar instead of El Pozo. This is also their secondary drop, so you would normally see this happening, but this is kind of the first time we have this sort of playing where they need to go there.
Yeah, we do know that the secondary drops are going to be interesting. I'm wondering if maybe some teams do start contesting, but I like to see teams showing that versatility. Na'Vi, certainly one of the teams that definitely shows potential, and we know that Miramar has been very strong for them recently, but there's been other teams starting to wake up. We saw Liquid finally starting to kind of warm into this a little bit. Their rotations were pretty rough before. TSM starting to look good. You know, you've got to feel that some of these teams, once they do get late game, they really come into their own, but those rotations have been a killer. First circle comes in.
A northeastern circle, and it's going to be interesting. This is kind of the first time we've seen this sort of north circle. So it's going to be interesting to see how the teams will be rotating on this one, especially a team like Reciprocity. They're going to go down to Impala, and they still haven't reached that yet where they will be looting. Now, they could opt for another option and go north straight away, try to get loot and get kind of a central spot in the circle, but looks like they're just going to stick with Impala for this time.
And I think we're still going to have to find out how well versed Reciprocity are on their rotations. We know this is still somewhat of a new drop for them, still kind of getting used to the Pro League, you know, the higher end of things, still getting used to this lobby. I'm hoping their rotation route won't be too contested if they go quick enough, but as you said, they're still taking the time to get there, so it's going to take a second or two to get moving. But I do want to kind of get your attention and thoughts on Team Liquid's rotations, because it was a sticking point for the early couple of play days. And they were struggling on their side of things. They've said it vocally. We don't like the north circles, the northeast circles. It's very tricky for us. But we have seen teams like Na'Vi, Digital Athletics, and FaZe doing quite well on them. So what's been the downside here for Team Liquid?
So the reason Liquid is having a little bit of struggle with the north circles is because of where Unit is. They started to land northeast of Picado, and that's usually where you would see Team Liquid rotate. Now they can't do that rotation. And as you know, Liquid is the team that we see usually rotating first out of everyone. And I think like they might take a little bit of a break here, and they're going to go west of Power Grid, west of Pittsburgh Knights, and go on the north side to get into the circle.
We started seeing a little bit of that yesterday. I think they started to opt for those longer rotations, which actually did pay off for them in the end.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see those changes now coming through, teams very much adapting. And speaking of adapting, Vitality finally have a bit of respite. Their loot can finally be a little less contested, and we have seen the results from that. We've seen actually good results from Reciprocity as well. Their performance yesterday was far better. Skoom started to look a bit of a dangerous player again.
Yeah.
How long do we need to give Reciprocity and Vitality to get back into the swing of things here? Because there is only going to be so long until we start having to be a bit more critical, but when's the time we have to start looking at them going, okay, now we know what they can bring to the plate?
So Vitality, I'd say they are really established team already, so they kind of need to show us already, and they've been slow on that. Reciprocity, on the other hand, they've been playing in contenders, they're coming in here for the first time playing in this in PL. So it's a little bit harder on the transition for them since they were hot dropping with Vitality. And I think we're going to need to give them today as well. And next week is when we're going to see the big jump for them, playing as 4 players or 3 players together, playing as a team coming into the late game, and that's where you're going to see them thrive.
Okay, so we do start to see the rotations. It looks like Liquid are kind of just heading in. They're not going on the wider swing. Not sure if they've reviewed something here, maybe found a little bit of an avenue through, but where are the contested spots? Because obviously everyone wants to go as central as possible. They know how the circle likes to shift, but for Team Liquid, what are the win conditions here for them to get those good circle positions? You said Unity earlier were a problem, but they're heading further east.
Yeah, so they probably realized that Unity will do this east rotation, and it's going to give them a gap to rotate where they're going right now. Most of the teams will be going towards where G2 and TSM is right now. That main road there, with that valley, that's where everyone want to be playing. That's like the big divide on this map right now. Either you want to be on the south or north side, depending on where you think it's going to be ending.
Looks like TSM already getting a couple of shots towards them. Nothing too much. Again, this will be that early posturing. Teams just trying to keep hold of the compounds they potentially earlier got to. We are seeing Raise Your Edge coming in from the north to the south. So everyone really condensing on that middle road. As you said, very much dividing the teams thus far. NIP, longer north through. And it looks like a lot of the teams who were on the extremities on the further side of things, your M19s, your, I guess, Knights to a lesser extent, FaZe, going on that very long rotation route through the north. And it works well enough, but obviously the downside is you don't get that central position.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get the central position, but sometimes it's better to not have that one, because when the next circle hits, you'll be on the edge maybe if you take a long rotation like Pittsburgh Knights and FaZe. But on the other hand, you'll be on the rotation straight away, and you know exactly, okay, the circle shrank away from center, so we can go, for example, north. If the next circle go north, we can take a good position straight away there.
I'm looking at Reciprocity on the East Coast because there's a couple of teams still using that sort of avenue, and Unity is one of them. We noted that allowed Team Liquid to get quite a central spot is because of this eastern swing coming out from Unity. So they're heading over this way. I'm pretty sure Rafi would have spotted this. Gemty already finding Scoom. Michael, and it looks like Scoom set up, but that's a bit of a problem. Scoom just gets decimated by the car. That is not how you want to start things off. Hello Senpai is going to claim that, get back in the car, and get on the road. That wasn't Unity. They were the first one through. That was CrowCrowd coming through.
Scoom getting ran over once again.
Scoom's having look. You need to be careful about flaming people about vehicles. Let's be honest. You can't do that. There was a bit of a steal going on as well. I think Liquid got the knock on one of the players, and it was stolen away from them by Raise Your Edge. So they're starting to get the picture of who's around here. Rafi trying to maybe avenge his fallen teammate, but he needs to be careful. CrowCrowd aren't exactly opposed to pulling up on this. They're looking more and more confident. And Tab showing he's got some real potential as, again, that TSM, Team Liquid, potentially Raise Your Edge battle carries on. Tab not going to go for the hit on Haxeti. He's going to keep going, maybe find another rock to pull up on. A better position. Haxeti spots it. And Haxeti's only on 36 HP. Got to be careful. 14 now. Tab's found a bit of a touch towards him. Going to go for the quick heal. That's a very dangerous one at that.
Yeah, I mean, Haxeti's off position compared to the others. At the same time, we see James going down to Iroh there in the picture-in-picture. But look at Haxeti. Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah, for now. It does feel like a for now. I don't know how much Reciprocity can really try and bail him out of that situation. He's managed to find a 1v1 with Tab, and he loses it. The nade was going to do it either way. Kemba's nade confirms. Reciprocity off to a messy start here on that eastern coast, but you have seen Liquid suffering casualties as well. They went for these kind of more central compounds, and it feels like they haven't been able to kind of get the fruit of their labor.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Reciprocity, though, they get split up here in the rotation, which shouldn't be happening at all. You see right now, Shiv is a little bit more south than Rafi, and both Scoom and Haxeti is already out, so there are only 2 players left, and you can't let this happen, especially on where you ladder as well. You should be on the central of the circle.
Yeah, maybe these sort of decision-making problems are going to be peaking here and there. We might see that continue. Hopefully they can sort it out. Speaking of sorting it out, Fuzzface destroyed by the Knights. That's on that northern swing, that northern rotation. We said that we saw a couple of teams going for this, but FaZe being jumped over, and the Knights look set up for this. They've kind of pulled up here.
The Knights played out perfectly. They know that the roads are where people are going to be coming in from. They're expecting a team to come there, and they waited, and they got at least 1 kill here from FaZe. Now FaZe won't take the road anymore, so you're going to see Pittsburgh Knights rotating in, trying to take a new position from here now.
Yeah, that's really well played by the Knights. I like that sort of attention to detail. Clearly been doing their homework, going over the VODs. M19 have found a way further south, not utilizing those roads that Quartel FaZe. And we know what FaZe rotations can be like. They've been pretty good at the moment, though. The last couple of days, they've been excellent. Maybe just a bit of a reminder, okay, guys, maybe what we've been doing has been slightly worked out, but the circle will be moving soon, so we might see where this goes to. And it's very far north.
It's, like I said, the north string comes in, and you have teams like Pittsburgh Knights and FaZe already in the rotation. They can now grab themselves a really good position because all the teams are almost on the south side here, and they know this as well because they know that everyone's going to be centered up in the land circle.
Yeah, it looks like Liquid are one of the first to get moving very quickly, taking a lot of attention for it. That's TSM happily delivering bullets. This could be nice for Wookie. Doesn't quite get the connection he wanted. And we'll be looking to see if they pull up. And Razor Edge doing the same thing. Everyone's trying to just shuffle back towards the north. You've already got Winstrike up there. They're not having to go too far. Unity on the far east. Knights already set up. FaZe working their way in. This Razor Edge, NIP sort of scuffle is going to be pretty big. But actually, it's Chris to find Natus. Vitality in a bit of a spot of bother, to say the least here. Crow's been able to stand his ground. But beyond that, Vitality looking a little worse for wear. Not going to be able to get the revives yet, not looking towards it. They need to secure the position they're in because pressure is coming through. Kramer confirms towards Brexico, but Shadow's in trouble. He's trying to put up the walls, put up the barriers, give them a chance to get Jazza back on his feet.
Chris is just nearby, south of the compound, and Kate and Uder is coming in from the east right now as well.
Yep, there's the confirmation for Chris, going to claim that every day of the week. It looks like TSM did catch out Team Liquid as well. That battle had been continuing a while, but clearly they kept tabs on Liquid, and it looked like Liquid had jumped ahead of them, but maybe Team Liquid did kind of slow down for a second, and that's cost them pretty much the vast majority of their team.
Yeah, it looks like it's only Champion left on Liquid right now. He's going to go into Cruz, trying to find a house where he can hold himself in and not taking any peeks right now.
Yeah, this is a bit scary for Liquid. This has been a very rough couple of rotations for them, not having the best of times. And big boy VOD, after the plays he pulled off yesterday, maybe still feeling himself, but Winstrike are very close by, and the rest of TSM, after taking that earlier fight with Liquid, picking up the kills, going to be a little bit later getting in towards the city, but they should be able to make it there. Wookie's getting a lot of attention on the way, but he should be able to join the others, pull up nice and quickly, beautifully parked, of course, and he'll be able to join Rory and co.
It's nice to see you seeing all the teams kind of trying to center up, but at the same time you have Cruz in the center right now, which is the city, and normally you don't see too many teams crash into it, but right now you have 4 teams in it.
Yeah, maybe feeling something here, reading those circles as best they can, and Vitality getting the full picture. The G2 have taken over the other side of this smaller compound. You can see the SLRs are out, the nades are out. They've got a good bit of range on G2, and we know they love their aggression at the right timing. G2 are a very deadly team. But this could be a tough one if they wanted to push that. I don't think they're going to be able to do that just yet. They might have to wait for that next circle. But NIP have been caught off. We knew that Winstrike were around this area. They've stayed on the hillside. They didn't go too close to Cruz de Val. They've stayed slightly further to the southeast, and they've caught NIP on that low ground.
Winstrike have a really good positioning right now. They have the compound there, they can scout a lot, and they can rotate later on as well. But at the same time, Tixu goes down there to set.
Yeah, I'm surprised CrowCrowd are able to see this. They found a really nice angle to be able to claim that, and Tixu gets flushed as well.
Yeah.
This could be go time for NIP if they want to try and swing back into it, if they feel there's a weakness. But again, they're dealing with a player who's just been knocked themselves, and there's so many teams around. You know there's going to be that third-party element coming in.
The thing is that NIP, they saw this knock and a flush on Tixu, meaning that they might be trying to push it now. They're trying to get a knock. As soon as they get the knock, they're going to go straight in for it.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Digital Athletics aren't far away. They're on the other side of the road. Now, G2 still in a bit of a stalemate with Vitality. Probably not going to see much happen from that. Maybe a knock or two if they do get that go-ahead. But you can see that's where the fight happened. Oh, wow, that's a bit of a move. Over towards the west it goes. Plays well for the teams who went to Cruz de Val, but it might be time to consider where do we go after this. But M19, wonderful position. Digital Athletics, incredible spot. But for likes of Na'Vi, ENCE, CrowCrowd, Unity, and Reciprocity, this is a rough one.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Na'Vi going on the west side. They're going to come in from south of M19, while most of the teams on the east side, they're probably just going to take the eastern side. Maybe Unity's going to go on the north side as well.
Menox, that's a scary spot to be in. Plenty of attention, trying to maybe scout out what routes are available to leave Cruz de Val, but that is going to be a big no. That's going to have to look for other options. Fast Rail needs to make a plan for this one. Wookie spots out Fast Rail. This is not going well. Actually, a bit of a saving grace from Team Liquid. Gemty puts the pressure back onto TSM after that earlier loss that they suffered to these boys. Now, Razor Edge can't adjust like they want to. It looked like they wanted to get into the vehicles and move away, but that option might have just been ripped out, but they do get to set up on the western side with TSM, with Team Liquid, and FaZe further off in the background.
Yeah, most of the teams in Cruz right now, they don't have any vehicles left because they decided to go into the city, and you're going to see them battling out. Right now, TSM, they want to hold out Razor Edge, but Razor Edge, they want to back out from it. It's going to hurt them if they do because there's so many teams on the south that will be holding out, though.
Yeah, it's looking like the options start getting limited unless you go on those really long swings out in the blue, potentially. Reciprocity still not in yet. Well, Rafi's worked his way in. Instead of Shiv out there in the blue. So this is going to start really chunking towards them. I don't know how much loot they had. We know earlier that they were struggling to get that loot. They took a while to get down there, so they might be suffering. Changes coming in. Unity putting players in here, but look at TSM. They've got Gustav, they've got Rory, they're going to hear these cars. This isn't subtle from Unity, so they've got to be prepared for what could happen from this. And Tizerin in orange are close. Oh no, Gustav, get ready. Gustav, this should be a freebie. Oh my god, that was almost turned around. Down to 10 HP. Gustav, what is this? That angle is not all that safe, but he's banking on Rory to keep him safe. And blast on that nade isn't going to be the death of him. It's Wookie finding it. So again, this is a really good hold from TSM. That looked terrifying.
Yeah, and the last two of the Unity, they're far out to the northeast, so they're not going to be able to come in and help. They're actually taking a fight against Reciprocity right now.
Yeah, that is a very split fight. Unity might have just kind of dropped the ball a bit. They may succeed against Reciprocity, but they've lost the bigger picture here. They've lost down the compound, and that felt careless from Unity. They didn't scout it out. They just pulled up in vehicles.
Well, the thing is, they didn't expect anyone to beat her because normally you won't see teams in the center. So they weren't expecting anyone to beat her. They wanted to take that north side of Cruz for himself, and they thought it was totally free. But hey, there's TSM.
Yeah, TSM did shuffle. They were way further down by Team Liquid, by Raise Your Edge, and they did move up towards that northern side. So maybe they scouted it earlier, had a little look, and obviously just thought nothing there. Winstrike and CrowCrowd getting very close by on the eastern front. It looks like they're in those hillsides littered across. Rapid very alone, and this fight continues. Vitality on the worst side of things. They're a little close to the blue. It means it will more than likely move away, and we're heading out further west. I worry, because I'm seeing Na'Vi completely scot-free. Lovely area to work in towards. They could get spotted about by Digital Athletics or M19, but they've been able to kind of stay away from a lot of these fights. They'll have all that utility, all the armors looking pretty. They'll be in a good spot. Everyone else in the west and Cruz Deval are now in trouble.
Yeah, normally we see Navi doing this. They want to keep all four up for the late game. Meanwhile, a lot of teams rotating. Winstrike, one of them going down here.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. They tried to send it as quickly as they could, and everyone looked their way. NIP got a lot of the reward for that, but as did G2 towards Vitality. That fight eventually happened, as Winstrike will be the first to fall. They tried to strike while the iron's hot, and here's the push from Vitality. They know they had to get past G2, but G2 are going to be such a pain to get by here. It's just Jazza and Shadow, and this angle is not ideal for Jazza. Out of utility as well, no nades there, one smoke, all he's got to play with. And look at the angles they're holding. G2 might suffer because of this, because I don't know how many vehicles they have to play from. And once that blue starts moving, it's going to hurt, but Jazza and Shadow might just take him down with them.
Once again, it's too late to do a push here. You need to do this 2 circles ago. Waiting until now, the blue is almost about to push you, and you're taking a fight now. You're man down compared to G2, and you have no utilities, no vehicles. You got to commit to it.
Yeah, I don't know if Vitality can get away. They might be able to catch a G2 player, but it's going to be a horrible battle. Both will probably suffer because of this. And keep in mind, there's still NIP and Digital Athletics further down the road who could spot them. Jazza now in the blue. Contact is made. This is with Unity and TSM. Now, this could be a lovely bit of revenge for them. TSM went further north. They've gone right into the eyes of Tizerin. That's Rory gone. Gustav is knocked as well. This is huge, actually. Wookie is suffering here. He's on his own, and it looks like steals are coming out from the Knights. Wanted claims onto Gustav. That's a couple of points there. But Unity held their ground in the north, and they expected these rotations well.
Yeah, they played outside the next circle, making sure that they could cover all this before they move in themselves later on. But they might have problems because they have FaZe Clan on the north side in the compound and Pittsburgh Knights west of them right now.
And this is what we're talking about down in that southeastern side. NIP catching G2 as they try to get away from that Vitality fight. It feels like no one's going to be benefiting from this in the end. Udia is trying to make a run for it. Shadow gonna get off the hill, but for what? Doesn't make much of a difference. It will be Vitality going down in 15th, so another loss there. But look at Cruz Deval. There's still CrowCrowd. There's still ENCE. There's Raise Your Edge. They're all still in this area, and Wookie's still up in the north with Unity.
Yeah, but at the same time, G2 only have Udu left right now, and he's running straight towards NIP, which we can see on the map itself.
Such a sick position for NIP. They can play this out late. They might get caught by DA themselves, but they've got such good vision from this compound, and you want to secure this side. You know there's been fights here, and this is that ENCE CrowCrowd fight. This is still in Cruz Deval. The blue has yet to sweep past them, but CrowCrowd is sweeping past. ENCE, the Finns are not looking so good today. Mikas was standing, and not for long. They've gone and got destroyed by Kemba and Set.
But here comes the next problem. CrowCrowd now needs to fight Raise Your Edge. They're on the south side of Cruz, and they're still holding strong there.
And I'm worried about this rotation from CrowCrowd. There's no comfortable way out. It's open ground. You've got FaZe up in the north. You've got Raise Your Edge in the southern side. It's who gets the points more than how far CrowCrowd can get. And it looks like Raise Your Edge are turning their attention elsewhere. They've managed to find an NIP player. This is a big game for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing really good right now, but right now there's only one guy left.
Yeah, a little rough overall. Menox up top, and I think Set's down below. Kemba did go down, so I think it's just Set here, and I've got to feel they've got the information. That's a nade going, and Set does get tagged. You can see all that information has come through. If they get one more nade in there, he could be done for. NIP actually going down to the blue, I think, in the end. A couple of them got knocked earlier on, and DA are locking them out on that side. So they've got a very rough transition if they think they can make it in.
DA played out well. They were holding this, the edge. They're making sure that NIP couldn't come in, but Na'Vi, they're sneaking up on the south side of them, and they might come up soon enough.
Yeah, a little Batman play from ENCE, just leaping in from top. That set gone. So the last man from CrowCrowd has been eliminated. Raise Your Edge now have to run themselves in, but good rotation from FastRail. Get an early spot in the circle, try and help that route out. This is that fight again with ENCE going on. And now let's look at who's got the good positions here, because we're starting to get towards that late game.
All right, you have M19 in a good compound there, but the big question is, are they going to be able to hold it? They're all 4 up still, and they haven't been in any fights more or less right now. Meanwhile, you have DA and Na'Vi on the south side, and they might be clashing together. Jempty is still in the center of the circle there, all by himself. You have Rafi up to the northwest in a little hut by himself.
Now, Senya was caught up there. I'm not sure who got him. Might have been Digital Athletics. It could have been MBS potentially. There's plenty of teams that could have looked that way. Now, I guess if you want to put it into, silver lining, actually TSM have just gone. That's pretty big. Now, if you want to go silver lining, losing out on your in-game leader isn't the worst thing. He can now see all the screens. He can kind of call from, I guess, behind. It's not the worst thing, but obviously you do not want to be down to 3 players regardless, because Digital Athletics have definitely got a spot on this. Speaking of spots, FaZe Clan. And a little glimpse towards Tizzer in there, trying to make a run in himself. Tizzer is still out towards the blue. He's not safe yet either.
There he goes.
So FaZe was holding it well in the north. The Knights have definitely spotted this out though, so FaZe can't overextend.
FaZe actually have a really good position. Even though they're on the edge right now, they have a lot of ground they can work with without getting gate kept by anyone, more or less. They need to push down towards the south though, and they might run into Raise Your Edge soon enough.
Rafi, where on earth did he just come from? Rafi's still alive. I kind of forgot the Reciprocity was still in this because they lost so many players, but he is out on his own near the Knights. That's the only team nearby him. M19 could look that way. But this is still quite an open circle. There's still a lot of room here. That northeast side, though, Raise Your Edge is starting to go towards FaZe, and FaZe seem aware there's a potential of someone coming around this way. These are the nades. These are nice nades. Not quite far enough. Iroh almost getting caught, almost a little bit of splash there, but FastRail and Chris trading out. Looks like Mexi has been caught off, and I think there could be a revive here for Raise Your Edge if they're quick about
Wanted. All the way from west side there. Steals that kill.
Yeah, that's a huge steal. And now AC and Uber have to look further ahead. Jempty's been laying in wait the whole time on this side as well. So if FastRail gets too ahead of himself, doesn't consider all the options, he could be in danger as well. Circles, Central's up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, M19 still, the whole compound is inside the circle, but the big fight will be DA and Na'Vi on the south side, I feel like, because the winner of that fight might potentially win the game.
Now, DA do at least have circle positioning to play with. That's the better thing for them. And Na'Vi don't only have Digital Athletics to get past, they also have M19, so they're in a tricky spot. Reels with a big shot there towards Uber, denying that peak. 12 HP, full back heal. FaZe Clan can't go for what they were trying to make a play from. They went further towards the north, further towards the west, tried to swing around, but they've caught the attention of the Knights, and that's not where you want to be here, because Wanted and Reels can definitely leapfrog ahead. It looks like a doozy tried to make the play towards Digital Athletics, but at this point, Iroh was waiting, and Iroh succeeds. This is Na'Vi kind of struggling on this. They're not in a great spot here. They're being gate-kept, and that's the M19 effect. They did manage to find 6 mode, but by now, Na'Vi are probably down to maybe 1 player standing. I think it's Bestaloch.
Yeah, it looks like it. And DA might just win this this fight, but they still need to fight. They also have MBS south, northeast of them that they need to take care of. I'm not sure they know that he's over there right now. They fought him earlier, but that was long ago.
Yeah, I feel they might have lost track. Rafi trying to make a madman play into the circle, but the Knights holding it down. Rafi took Znark with him, but he will potentially have a revive there. I don't know how far in the blue. There's a chance for it. FaZe are not close enough to strike towards this. Bestaloch trying to make something happen, but you can see the vision coming out. It looks like FaZe are being pushed back. Raise Your Edge found a really good way into that circle.
Yeah, and that's Doozy going down into 100. So now it's only Bestaloch still up, and I mean, looks like he's still going to need to push towards DA there. He doesn't have much other choices to work with.
Nade is good coming up from FaZe. They found a way through. They had to fight hard for this. I don't know if they can keep going. Reels is still standing. They did manage to do so much. Bestaloch trying to work the play. He's done for. Knights have gone down. FaZe might have suffered because of this. They're down to 1 man, and look at Sigzy. He's pushing round.
Look at the HP of Uber.
Oh my god, Uber, how are you alive? Sigzy, he could just, I don't know, just flick him and he'd fall down, but the heal has got off. FaZe still stand with 1 player, but they still stand. They've made it further forward, but look at this. Digital Athletics have held on really, really digging in deep here. NBS, I think, has been spotted out earlier on. The smoke in play has given away the game, but Chris has an angle. He's got a bit of a spot on this himself. So getting all the information, working things out here. Rage have a great deal to play with, and now M19 have managed to get away from all of this action. They're just sitting in that compound.
Rage has got to be careful, though. They don't want to get caught off guard making all these picks against all the other teams right now. They want to make sure they focus fire on one team, take out that one before they move to the next fight.
It looks like maybe Elite player has got a spot towards Uber. Southern Circle shift does not help out Raise Your Edge here. And M19 are laughing. They've still got part of the compound. They still have safety of Circle. They are in a really good position. NBS, sadly, not in a good position, only being kept safe, if anything, by Chris, but that could all go wrong as well if he runs the other side.
Yeah, Raise Your Edge, they're going to need to go to the south here towards Digital Athletics. And as you can see here, it's kind of just open area they need to cover. So hopefully they have a lot of smokes. We see that Chris have 3 of them that they can utilize to make a move.
Yeah, he needs to be called back maybe if the timing's right. FastRail will call it, and they'll have to try and plan their play out. Because M19 have a spot, and they've got such nice high ground position, it's going to be very hard for any team to work uphill. A couple of tags come towards them, but it's Uber trying to use the timing now, but he's been spotted out. That shot's coming through. Constantine does find Sixmo. D-Mash finds Uber. This is big. MBS did get caught off by Digital Athletics in the end, so that threat's been removed. And while this happened, Raise Your Edge is trying to find a way forward still.
And MBS themselves as well. Raise Your Edge, they should be pushing towards GLL Athletics right now. Don't go for the res. I mean, it's not worth it. Now's the perfect timing to just push down to the south, make a move on that kill that M19 got on DA.
Yeah, I'm hoping they have all that information coming through. They understand where these teams are, because it looks like Raise Your Edge are being very static. They haven't pushed this. FastRail is just kind of standing there. Chris has now joined him, but this is the shot that cost him. And Sigsy got a lovely headshot from a beautiful death. And DA don't have to move either. They're still in the circle. Raise Your Edge still trying to find ways forward, split by that little dirt path that runs between them.
Jempty is the big spoiler. He's all by himself on the north side, but he's still inside the circle. So whatever he chooses to do will hurt that team he chooses to shoot at.
Yeah, we'll see when he decides to strike. If Raise Your Edge do go further north, you can imagine that will be the play. But I doubt he'll want to open up when they run across the road. If he does spot out Menox and the other player for them, I don't think he'll want to go for that just yet until it's forced. He's just holding an angle. Yeah. It's a matter of time. He'll be forced out there eventually, but it's who does he take with him? GMT still considering options.
He's just trying to gather information right now, knowing where everybody is and where all the teams are.
No, here comes the run. It's Raise Your Edge trying to make a dash for it. D-Mash does find Sigsy. Menox goes down. Chris did get one back. That's pretty good, but the Blues on their back and they can't get away from it. Jempty finally strikes. This is the timing. He sees the kill feed. He knows the players. It's time to go. DA, where's the push back here?
DA, they should be pushing FastRail on this one. They know that their man's down up there. And they know that they need to take care of them because that's the only threat they have right now. If they take care of FastRail, they can take control of the whole circle right now, make sure that M19 can't get inside.
Look at him lurking in the depths. He's trying to find it right. Jempty is doing damage. DA are not doing well here. They're being spotted out from both fronts. FastRail stole the kill that was started. Nade comes in. Mert's already been knocked as well. M19 take this time to now start spreading out, starting to get themselves into that next circle because they have everything going their way. There is no world in which I see them losing this one out. They still have utility. They still have all 4 players alive. They should not let this slip. And DA are down to 2. They were their biggest threat, but everyone else just started laying into them.
Just look at M19 right now. They have Constantine moving on the south, trying to sweep that area, making sure they have control of it while they're keeping 3 guys by the compound. Looks like D-Match is going to join him on the south rotation there. They want to make sure the south side is clear, and then they know that Jempty is still on the north side, so they don't need to care about him because he's way away from them right now. Don't have LOS.
Yeah, no chance for them to get too much pressure there. It shouldn't be an instant kill, so they can still deal with it. I worry if M19 start feeding. They have been kind of, I guess, away from the action, but FastRail is helping them out here. Nade towards Mert, and there we have it. Wanderer finds Iroh. We're down to 3 teams. 2 snakes as such. You've got Jempty and FastRail up against the 4 of M19. This should be theirs every day of the week. This would take a huge fumble for them to drop the ball. They have information on Jempty. They shouldn't have lost that out yet. They have the information on FastRail. It may not be precise, but it should be good enough. The Hitman squad starts working. It's Constantine going on the push with D-Mash. It should be FastRail first. They should not die 1 by 1. It should be tradable. But FastRail, how much pain can he add to this? Can he make this competitive? Gemty starts using that last bit of utility. Smoke goes out. He's trying to plan this one out. Fast Rail maybe trying to jump ahead, but Gemty's being spotted by Elite player, and here's that blue. This looks like death for Gemty. He's trying to run those smokes. 13 HP. He does not have much to work with, and Fast Rail is just sitting pretty. He's waiting for this to all go past him. Gets a glimpse of D-Mash. That is a kill if I've ever seen it. And Gemty has jumped. He's up in second. Great play from Gemty, considering Liquid had nothing to play with this game. Caught off in rotations, but it was M19 with so much alive. 4 players at the end.